Y'all didn't think I was going to make it, did you? Did you think I was going to miss my favorite principle? Right of revolution. Right to abolish government. Au contraire. I got something special for you today. This is a funny one. My son sent this to me this morning. Oh, dang it. I seriously... I had it queued up and then I shut my photos down. Darn it. It's a good thing I decided I would talk to you first and not just play it. Because we'd be listening to some dead air right now. But here it is. This is pretty funny. This is pretty funny. Good morning, everybody.
Nick, what do you do for a living now? You work for the Biden administration. Is your job to wake them up, or what's your job? Hey! There's a war! Hey! Okay, what do you do for the Biden administration? What a shit show of a job you have. I can't believe you admitted that in front of all these people. You have the freedom to lie. You could have said you were a hooker and I would have been prouder of you. What do you do?
I travel to southern states.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Pretty funny. How are everybody doing? I know no one's here because I put the notification up late. I got in under the 30 minutes, but most of you watch me afterwards anyway, so thank you for tolerating my rookie streamer status that I have held for the last few years now. But we're going strong. And today is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is why Devil Dog sent me this whole study guidebook, all this extra books, more stuff, because this right here, which I wish I could really, interpret this whole thing for you right now, but I haven't even been able to really read through the whole thing myself. It's thick. Good morning, Jenny. It's good to see you, love. But it's all the works of the writings of people. I mean, it's 14 pages. And the first one is from Algernon Sidney, the one who was beheaded for saying there was no divine right of kings to rule over any man. And I just learned from Mr. Man in the video, I was saying his name wrong. I was saying Algernon, but he said Algernon. So Algernon Sidney it is. He was beheaded for saying there was no divine right in kings to rule over others. So that is actually our first answer. Oh my, I think I just realized I think I took a picture of this blank. I'm going to have to find it real quick. But if not, I will do the reading. No, I always do the quiz first. I must have took it a couple days ago. I remember looking for it. I was going to download it. I did download some extra pages. Oh, here it is right here. On the About Us on Humboldt, there's a lot of Christian material on there. And what I added to it was a whole Religions of the World's chapter excerpt from this book. And I think that's what's been stumping me up, Jenny, from wanting to do the Bible study. I really want to go through all the religions of the world first, and people can realize that our Constitution was based on many of the religions, but the same principles, not contrary to Christianity, but also just within all of them. And so I think we need to get that down, and then I want to do that other study of Be Ye Transformed. So that's it, because for me, oh, did I put it here? Oh, it is here. Okay, it's already here. Duh. I'm a little off. My brain, mental capacity is kind of shot right now. But we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. So let me share my screen, because it is here already. I just didn't think it was, because of course the last time we did it, it was quiz from lesson 11, and so today it's quiz from lesson 12. So I can't use that excuse that I'm not really teaching this time, because last time I was just studying it but decided I would put the camera on while I studied it, and so I had a lot of excuses. At least I thought I did. But here we go. Here's the questions, and I can share my screen with you. We need some Jesus study. I know, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'll show you, before I get off of here, I'll show you the new page, and then I think it will have really good, vigorous discussion. We can be on the same page about it. You know, I want to be there. It's great little chapter. It has many, many things about all the religions, the highlights, the bullet points, and I think it's going to be great. But for now, we're in this study. We're doing quiz from lesson 12. Well, that's their lesson. I think we're on 13 because mine are numbered a little bit differently. But here we go. Number 1. Algernon Sidney was beheaded in 1683 for saying there's no such thing as the divine right of kings. John Locke had said the same thing across the pond, though. He said the power to rule comes only from the people. 3. What did Locke say about the obligation of the people to meet a leader who comes to power other than by the people's consent? Why, he said, that man or woman is a usurper. 4. What does chief or king mean in Anglo-Saxon? It means signing, C-Y-N-I-N-G. In Anglo-Saxon, what was the duty of a chief and when did it end? His duty was to protect the people, and it ended when the people decided that it should. 6. The founders insisted the Constitution be approved not only by the people, but by the body of the people. 7. Why did they want this? Because they believed that the great Creator has never given to men a right to vest others with authority over them, unlimited either in duration or degree. Does the criminal justice system come to mind? Little slavery here and there? 8. Jefferson said governments should not be changed for light and transient causes. 9. He said when rulers breach the trust of the people, they forfeit their power to rule. 10. What part of the people have power to rule in a society? The majority of the power. What is the majority? The majority is plus 1. What does it say? Half plus 1. There's many minorities, but there's only one majority. Established by and can only be changed by a majority. There is no right of revolt in a minority. This was not the founders' doctrine. The founders' doctrine was not civil disobedience. Don't think you need to put up your arms. We can take it. And then he made me laugh so hard, Mr. Mann, in the study. He says, Americans can take a lot of abuse, can't they? And I just laughed, and it really wasn't funny, but it's like, he was saying this probably 14 years ago. I think it was 09 when, I don't know when these, I'll have to look when these DVDs made. Doesn't say it on here. 12. What would the founders say about the doctrine of civil disobedience? They would say, don't think you can change any law without the majority. Because you're not in it. Get in it. And then I have some notes here. The roots of authority should always be in the people. We can and could change legislators every 2, 4, and 6 years. We know this. The founders left the divine right of kings establishment to give us a self-governing government. And then he talked about the apotheosis in the Capitol. In the ceiling, there's George Washington and all of his freedom fighters around him that were beating up tyrants of liberty. And they loved him because he had no desire to be king. And they tried to make him king. And he declined. And he just really wanted to be on his farm. He's the kind of people you want in power, the ones that don't want to be in power, because ultimate power corrupts. That's what we learned from the study of the Constitution. That's what they studied about human nature. That's why it was important to study all the religions and have those discussions. It said vigorous and sometimes violent debates. We're having violent debates without any intelligent discussion these days. People are abusing people right on the streets because we're not taking the time to have these discussions and to self-govern. So I believe, I'm a firm believer in our foundation and the truth, and that the truth is written on every man's heart. It's confirmed. I believe that we can turn this around. But we can only do it with God. We're not going to be able to do it with evil infiltrating and trying to manipulate what is going to work. The only time it ever worked. That's why they call it the 5,000 miracle, 5,000 year leap miracle. So today we're reading just like 3 pages. What is it? 147 to 150. Oh, these might be the ones I didn't upload. I knew I was forgetting something. I got so excited about that religions and I edited some things here. I thought these were supposed to be gone. I didn't do these 3 pages. Oh, gee. Let me see if I can get to them real quick. Super easy. And also was... interesting, we had 11 and 12. I probably should have read these together last time, but such is the way of things sometimes. Maybe I should just read it and upload it later. It takes a minute or two to find it. The pictures are already here, but they're way down in the bottom of the media files. But I really do like so much better that you can follow along with me. So let me see how long it takes me just to find one. It's only 3 pages, so. The religions chart and books that I got it from, the pages I upload, I'll just hold this up for you to see, is under the About Us section. If you want to go check this out. And there's also some good sermons from some of my favorite pastors, Calvary Chapel pastors. Skip Heitzink did one on facing giants. You know, it's inspiring. There's a lot of good lectures there. Okay. Let's see. What is this? Principle 12 we're on? 11 and 12. And a bunch of past ones. Oh, there's some Trey Smith. The God in a Nutshells are there. There's, who else is there? Skip Heitzink. It's just a lot of my favorite, trying to get on the same page with people. It's great if you can have discussions and you've all seen the same material. I prefer that. The discussions where people are trying to talk about things where you don't have the same material, such as Constitution, Bible, and people can make the Bible say whatever it wants, reading it out of context. We know this. No, it's the 11th, right? Yeah, 10th and 11th. Okay. So we got to get on the same page. How are we going to get on the same page? We got to see the same material. We have to see the same material. Here it is. Uh-oh. 2 selected. I somehow selected a different one. Whoopsie. Great. Where's the other one I selected? I better get out of there. Well, I found it. I found it. I'm sorry. I thought I had everything together. It was a really rushed morning. I haven't even fed my horses yet. My little mini ponies are like, what is going on? Where is she? We hungry. I mean, they'll live. They live on air. So I'm learning about. Poor Ed. I got a diabetic horse. his sugar's too high and all this stuff. I'm like, wow, I got a special needs horse. How is it that our animals became special needs? I remember making fun of my sister for having a diabetic cat. Not really making fun of her, but just like thinking how silly and ludicrous it was. Why these animals have these problems. You know, it's no big wonder. Okay, 1 out of 3 is uploaded. Pardon my little delay here. You know, I just have to get through this stuff. I thought about just, you know, not having the study, but I really enjoy the study. Even if I have to be a little bit delayed or whatever, it's fine. It's worth it. Worth it. Hope it's worth it for you. I hope it's worth it for you. Now, next time, I did want to say, the next time I teach this, the next study is going to be, my favorite book really is this one, The Making of America. This has all the context. The grand jury stuff. I've put the common law grand jury excerpts from here up on the standuphumble.news page in 2 places. I realize it's in the bottom of the About Us page, too, that religions page. Because that goes back very far. That common law jury is not something new. So, there's a lot of good material there we can study and then get on the same page about. But I'm trying to be studying the nationalassembly.net page a lot and reading the requisitions, looking at the receipts for the people, you know, the page where all the grifters steal the information from and then put it behind a paywall because they love their country so much. These people are out in full force. What? Why are you in that weird thing? Okay, 1 more page and then we can get to reading. It's going to be a quick read at least, so at least there's that. 147 to 150. The 11th principle. 11th principle. The majority of the people may alter or abolish a government which has become tyrannical. Oh, and I read you the answers to this quiz. I knew I was doing something out of order, but I just couldn't even wrap my mind around it because it's so foggy here today. It's like foggy in my brain because it's foggy outside. Even on the hill, it's foggy. A lot of times we're above the fog, but not today. It'll probably clear out. It'll probably clear out. All right. Is that it? I think we got all the pages here. But it came in the wrong layout. It's scrolling layout, which is annoying. Oh, yeah, I probably should have just read it. Oh, well, we're having fun today, right? Are we having fun today, kids? I sure hope we're having fun, because I'm ready to rock and roll now. Let's go. What is today? Wednesday, right? Okay, that's good enough. Let's do it. Here we go. It probably only took 5 minutes, but it felt like an eternity, almost. Knowledge is worth it. Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you. Knowledge is worth it. Okay, let's refresh and see where we're at. See if it's here yet. Right to govern. I think it's up here. Maybe not. May not have refreshed yet. Here it is. Okay. Ignore that. Behind the pages, look at people and stories behind the headline. Although do. Okay, 11th principle. The majority of the people may alter or abolish a government which has become tyrannical. Oh, and is it going to hold for me? See that stupid scrolling thing? That's a problem. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Let me change that real quick. I thought I did change it. It's real easy to do. You just change the layout. Man, my throat hurts. I was in a house yesterday that has mold in it. And the person that lives there needs to get out of there. They need to get out of that house because my throat is on fire. from being in there. Okay, these are, what is this? Lesson number 13, right? All right, here we go. We're seriously ready this time. Seriously ready this time. Could not deal with this scrolling thing. That would not work for us, you know. Yes, let's follow along in reading as the page turns every couple seconds. Well, if I can do this, you can do this too. I hope you're paying attention to what's going on in your county. I'm trying to watch the Board of Supervisor meeting. They're having more meetings than I ever remember them having. Planning Commission meetings. They're trying to put some housing for all up in your neighborhood, McKinleyville, off of Sutter Avenue. You better watch it. You better watch it. 11th principle. The majority of the people may alter or abolish a government which has become tyrannical. The founders were well acquainted with the vexations resulting from an abusive, autocratic government which had imposed injuries on the American colonists for 13 years in violation of the English Constitution. Thomas Jefferson's words in the Declaration of Independence therefore emphasized the feelings of the American people when he wrote, "Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, which evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed." Does that make sense? But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Once again, we find John Locke setting forth this same doctrine in his classical second essay concerning civil government. The reason why men enter into society is the preservation of their property. Therefore, whenever the legislators endeavor to take away and destroy the property of the people, or to reduce them to slavery under arbitrary power, they, the officials of government, put themselves into a state of war with the people, who are thereupon absolved from any further obedience, and are left to the common refuge which God hath provided for all men against force and violence. Whensoever, therefore, the legislature shall transgress this fundamental rule of society, and either by ambition, fear, folly, or corruption, endeavor to grasp themselves or put into the hands of any other an absolute power over the lives, liberties, and estates of the people, by this breach of trust, all caps now, they, the government officials, forfeit the power the people had put into their hands, and it devolves to the people who have a right to resume their original liberty and provide for their own safety and security. Let's see. However, it is important to recognize that the government was established by the majority of the people, and only a majority of the people can authorize an appeal to alter or abolish a particular establishment of government. As Locke pointed out, when any number of men have, by the consent of every individual, made a community, they have thereby made that community one body, with the power to act as one body, which is only by the will and determination of the majority. And thus every man, by consenting with others to make one body politic under one government, puts himself under an obligation to every one of that society to submit to the determination of the majority and to be concluded by it. No right of revolt in a minority. This being true, Locke pointed out that there is no right of revolt in an individual, a group, or a minority, only in the majority, as he stated elsewhere. For if it, the unlawful act of government, reach no farther than some private men's cases, though they have a right to defend themselves, yet the right to do so will not easily engage them in a contest, it being as impossible for one or a few oppressed men to disturb the government where the body of the people do not think themselves concerned in it. But if either these illegal acts have extended to the majority of the people, or if the mischief and oppression has light struck only on some few, but in such cases as the precedent and consequences seem to threaten all, and they are persuaded in their consciences that their laws and with them their estates, liberties, and lives are in danger, and will perhaps their religion too, all caps, how they will be. Oh man, I don't have the right page here. I have to read it for you. How they will be hindered from resisting illegal force used against them, I cannot tell. I have the wrong third page here. I'm sorry. I'll have to read it to you. And it just ends with the Virginia Declaration of Rights. If you really want to see it, there it is. In other words, the majority are then likely to revolt just as the American founders did when their plight had finally become intolerable. Certainly there was no significant confusion in the minds of the founders as to their rights and proper recourse when they approached their moment of critical decision in 1776. The Virginia Assembly passed the Virginia Declaration of Rights on June 12, 1776, which provided in Section 3 as follows, that government is, or ought to be, instituted for the common benefit, protection, and security of the people. And that when any government shall be found inadequate or contrary to these purposes, a majority of the community hath an indubitable, inalienable, and indefeasible right to reform, alter, or abolish it in such manner as shall be judged most conducive to the public weal. So, granted that the people are sovereign, and the majority of them can take over whenever necessary to restructure the political machinery and restore liberty, what is likely to be the best form of government which will preserve liberty? And that is going to be in the next principle, which is the United States shall be a republic. But did you hear some democratic practices in there with when it comes to the majority? You know, that it used to be called a democratic republic. That's how maybe people need to look at it again. Who knows? Or realize they're just a uniparty that is out for us, but you also still have to go with history, and you still have to go with what they knew. Oh, I wasn't even sharing. You didn't even see the screen. Today's lesson was totally horrible. I'm so sorry. But I did muster through it, and I did do my best. Hi, Scrimshaw. Good to see you. Boston in the house, and Maryland, and Texas. I love you, girls. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your encouragement as I fumble around through this. Let's see. Let me go to what I actually worked on a lot this morning, too. I did the study yesterday, and I had a great time with it, and I thought I was all ready for it, but I just forgot a couple things there. But that's why I thought I had time this morning to put on here what I was so excited to put on here. I was inspired by this verse here. With God, all things are possible. So this is the book that I took these excerpts from. And if you were to click on each one, there are the 7 major worldviews here. Atheism, pantheism, deism, polyism, monotheism, panentheism, and finite godism. And I just wanted to put all this there together. So here's some sections, okay? Here's some great sections. Maybe you'll figure out why Dee put this up. You tell me if it's one of these particular ones. Christianity, cults, and the occult, okay? Listen to them. So we have Freemasonry, Anthroposophy, Eckanar, astrology and horoscopes, scriptural warnings on the occult. These are out of order, just so you know. What is this one called? Rosicrucianism, Kabbalah Center, Wicca, the Church of Satan, Spiritualism, Santeria, Voodoo, Theosophy. And then this section about atheism and agnosticism goes on quite a bit more, but I wanted the terms and definitions to be up here, and I didn't want to X out that page, but I'll add more after we discuss these things. But I would like to discuss these things, but I'd like us all to be on the same page, because that's typically how we roll around here in our tribe, in our community, in our little YouTube family. Some of you I will call family. Some of you I will call grifters, parasites, and spinsters. No, probably none of you watch me anymore. But, you know, there's lots of that. Oh, no worry, honey. Hope your son's okay. Wear a mask if you go back there. I can't wear a mask. I don't wear a mask. I will never wear a mask. I'm going to tell her I can't go in the house for a while, though. It's too much. Yeah, next time I get to teach the book I want to teach again, after this one, because we're actually all over halfway through this one. We're over halfway through. Hi, Jen. Good to see you, honey. Let's see. Well, we're not really. We did Principle 11. We're doing 12 next time. There's 28 principles, so we're a third of the way through. But then I'm going to go back to this book, and Devil Dog sent me this kit that actually has DVDs for both books. So the thing is, now I'm reading them, and then I watch a DVD with Mr. Man and take notes, and that's where I get all my answers from. But actually, you can get the answers in the book, too. So, but the thing is, once I do this study again, I'm going to have this down, too. I'll have added this addition to my resources, particularly our little Right of Revolution. I was told don't go putting any of this up. This is copyrighted, and so, but the other one I can. So anyway, but I'm not ready to share this with you yet. This is a really thick read in a couple ways. It's like 3 inches thick. Each book. There's 5 of these books, but Devil Dog said I could find anything I needed in these books. So research team, it's like we got our own encyclopedia. It's a good thing we have our own law library, because James Chafee has been calling out the Board of Supervisors for not only removing our law library in Humboldt County, but also for giving 3 positions for librarians away. Grift, 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 grift. Did you see what Fonnie Willis got accused of? $500,000 that she told the community, oh, this is going to go for a Boys and Girls Club or something like that for kids, right? Do you know she went on vacations with that money? There's a Fonnie Willis in every county. People are waking up. You see them talking at the city council meetings all the time. But they got to learn how to be effective and not let them get them spinning around in some useless waste of time for too long. I mean, it takes us, this knowledge has been hidden from us for a good reason. The whole common law grand jury stuff, you think it's a secret. That stuff's been buried since the 50s on purpose. They stopped teaching civics. Remember when we were all first waking up and people would say, yeah, they stopped teaching civics. I'm like, civics? What's that? You know, I've barely heard of civics. Well, of course. They don't want you to know about how to... 13 people. Do you think you could get 13 people on the same page in your community? Uh-oh. The site's down for now. Okay. I mean... It's a matter of reading the same material, coming together, and having vigorous discussions. Because when I'm watching these people on my board of supervisor and city council meetings, I have to ask myself, are we good enough to govern? Are we good enough to self-govern? Can we not do better than these guys? If we had any idea how much money they were working with and how much money they're shoving in their own bank accounts, I bet a lot of us will be like, heck yeah, I could do a lot better than that. With the money they're spending to make our communities more vulnerable with their one-way streets and their roundabouts and their trails up into the residential rural neighborhoods. Everything that I see them doing is very disruptive to the community. The community is not happy. These people don't care at all. They are never, you know what they say? Thank you very much. Okay, shall we take a vote? Yes, 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 yes. They could care less what you think. I'm not saying don't go there and give them a piece of your mind, because what it does do is lets the community know it lets the community know what is going on. So I've got a lot more watching to do. I want to encourage you to please be paying attention to your own county's city council meetings and board of supervisor meetings. At some point, Americans have got to stop being entertained by sensationalism and breaking news, and they're going to figure out where it's at for them. It's in your own community or your family. Charity begins at home. Amen. Take care of your mother and father. Take care of your family. If you're running around taking care of strangers and your own mother or father is in destitution, well, I don't think you've got the right order going. So, and some mothers and fathers and relationships are estranged. I get that. I'm not talking to you then. Some of them need to be. I'm just saying there is an order to things. Our country's a mess right now. Women told men we didn't need them. Men don't feel needed. They're not really showing up in a lot of the places on the assembly calls. They're saying it. How come it's the majority of women here doing this work? Where are the men? Playing video games and smoking weed? There's, 24 hours in a day. We need a couple hours a week of a commitment to pay attention to what is going on in your community. It's not that hard. Even somebody that's sitting around smoking weed and playing video games could do that, actually. But it's a matter of priority and focusing. I'm astounded as to how few people are involved in the politics here. This administration is getting their orders directly from the potato head Biden administration that's getting their orders from the UN and other global things. If we don't stand up, every community that is not offering oversight and doing audits and having grand juries, common law grand juries, not civil, you're being governed. If you are not self-governing at this moment, you are being governed. Don't you want to just self-govern instead? I do. So if you do, then keep hanging out with me, because that's what we're figuring out how to do. And my rant is over. But maybe I'll be back on later. I do have a couple of highlights from the Board of Supervisor meeting. And now it was 2 weeks ago. There's another one. There was 2 more that came out. It's like I can't keep up with it all. I wish we had a team here of people that were like, hey, Dee, I'm from Riadell, and I watched the city council meeting. Let me tell you what happened and highlights there. If you were running that show, I would come on and tell you, well, I watched this and that. I don't have to be in charge of anything. I just think that our oversight committee needs to grow here in Humboldt County. We need to grow here. The money they are running through and the little projects they're sending our way, it seems to me, from my observations, the community's not exactly happy with it. So perhaps they should get together and decide where they can put their noggins to use in changing some things. You don't have to ask them stuff when you have a 13-member assembly. You can demand and require and make stuff happen. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think it'd be awesome. So Your governor went to Italy talking about climate change. Oh, wonderful. Because everybody cares about that. Where did my little prayer book go? I had it here. Oh, come on. It was here. I did not expect to do rant, but, well, of course I did. It was right of revolution. I mean, come on. How can you not? How can you not talk about governing ourselves? We do not have to sit here like sitting ducks, you guys. We absolutely do not have to sit here like sitting ducks. We have options. We have options. I love the word options. Has that word been ruined yet? Options? Is it still a good word? Learn to do good. Seek justice. Rebuke the oppressor. Defend the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17. You know what I pray for you? That no weapon formed against you will stand. I pray the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, and give you peace. And be gracious unto thee. In Jesus' name. Thank you guys for being here. I may see you later. I don't know. Probably not. I'll see you Friday for sure. Take care. Peace.